Hello, I'm here with the environmental pollution topic of Unit 1 in Commercial Geography. So let's go into the subject. Before going to the subject, please watch this video. Yeah, that is the video about because of the pollution he lost his son. So that every pollution the costs life. So let us go into the subject. So environmental pollution. Environmental consists of land, water, and air. So these were totally misused by the human activities, and with that misutilization they were get polluted. That costs the life of a human. So there are, as I told you in the last slide, there are land, water, and air were get polluted by the human activities. So let us learn one by one. Land pollution. So you can see the pictures of land pollution. So what is this land pollution means? Land pollution means it's a deterioration of Earth's land surface by indirect or direct effects of human activities. First, it is a misutilization of land resources that affects naturality of the land. So what are the causes of land pollution? As you all know that the garbage, so the waste what we are generating that is thrown on the land, necessarily it affecting the land. Factories, the emission of fluids and the emission of fumes and release of water that affects the land. And the farming, usage of the pesticides, and some wastages in the animals, so that affects the land. Mining, unnecessarily digging affects the land. And what are the preventive measures that should follow? So every human should focus on reductive usage of chemicals and the pesticides in a limited manner, so that it won't get land polluted. And the reforestation, we have to grow the trees, and we have to develop a greenery, and always use recycling material instead of using plastic. Better use paper bags. The second point is water pollution. So you can see the pictures. So with this picture you will have some idea on the water pollution, how it affects, how it is happening. Water pollution is very harmful, as you all know that without water we can't live. So that water is mixed with chemicals, microorganisms that are contaminated. The stream of river, lake, oceans, and other body of water bodies were affected with this harmful substance. What will happen after mixing with this water? The quality of water will degrade, and that will affect the human and his environment. What are the causes? Agriculture, uses of fertilizers and animal waste and other bacteria, virus, and some other ways we are mixing into the water. And sewage in the water, sewage water, that also affects. Where it will come? It will come from our households, from industry and other agricultural activities. Oil pollution, this is very, very important. So unknowingly there may be leakage in your vehicle, so that will affect the land. So, and in sea, as you all know that unknowingly any leakage of a crude ship, that will affect the land. And at the same time, radioactive substance that affects the water pollutants. So here in this ways, so this is my gathering of information. So you can add some other, so which affect the water pollution. So what are the preventive measures we need to take to overcome this problem? Again, uses of plastic, and we need to reduce, and we have to focus on recycle materials and proper disposable of waste what we generate from the house, and that should not mix with the water, and it should be properly treated, and at the same time, if it is possible of recycle, we can do that. Otherwise, that is to be cycled in such a way it should not affect the water, land and the air. So we have to see that any problem is there in leakaging and everything, so that won't affect our water. And the other one is air. Air, as you know, that this will directly affect on our lungs. So this emission of acids and emission of fumes into air, that affects our lungs, that affects our heart and every organ that get polluted. And here, what is air pollution? Air pollution refers to the release of pollutants into the air. Where these pollutants comes from? This comes from industry, households, and other activities. So here are some of the activities I have mentioned here. Vehicle exhaust fumes. So the carbon monoxide is released from the vehicles, and fossil fuel based power plants like sulfur dioxide is released from the industry, that affects. And exhaust from industrial plants and factories. Yes, heavy machineries, that is also emitting some effluents, so that will affect the air. Construction and agricultural activities, daily construction. So whatever we see, there's a destruction of some old buildings and construction of new buildings. The dust may get pollute that air. Similarly, agriculture, that is also one of the source of air pollution. And natural causes, the volcanoes, natural affected volcanoes, and unknowingly forest got fired. So that all will affect air. And household activities like improper ventilation, there is no proper ventilation, and smoking of tobacco, and uses of unnecessary powders and bleachings, that affects the air. So here are some of the effects of pollution. So what will affect? So global warming. So the ozone layer get depleted, and that is the most one of the points that everybody should focus on. That should not get depleted. And human respiratory, as I told you, in the beginning of this topic, that human respiratory definitely will affect, and heart concern problems and wildlife endangerment. There will be chance of extinguished animals and rare species, and regularly acid rains will come that will affect again on the agriculture. And what are the preventive measures we need to take to overcome these problems? Of course, the same thing, we should have to see that they should not unnecessarily utilizing of fossil fuels, and unnecessarily utilizing of energy consumption, and we need to use in such a way, we have to focus our mind so that the energy will be used according to our requirement. And the clean energy is always suggestible, and if whatever materials we are using, that should be recycled every time, and that should not leave aside as a waste. In this way, we can overcome the environmental pollution. So that is all about this video. So hope you understand, and please follow this protect the earth for next generations. Thank you very much, and we will meet you in another video. Until then, have a good time.